Hey everyone, how are you doing today? Welcome to this video. I'm Martine, and in the last video I talked about starting my May challenge. I had a prompt list, all the good things, and you guys saw about 3 days of what I did for the first, second, and the third, and I kind of wanted to keep this going and show you guys what I have done so far. So we'll start with day 4. Day 4, I chose the prompt collage off the list, and I made this collage. This is from Painted Papers, and the back paper with the musical notes is collage paper that I bought in Michael's, the craft store Michael's, and the rest are painted papers, or I think this green here is construction paper, but you get the gist. And I added, you know, some graphic elements with a pen on the pot. Added these little birds outside the window, outlined the window a little bit for a little graphic look. And yeah, so I kind of like it. Actually, I really like it. I'm really proud. So yes, so collage for day 4 was done. And day 5, I chose still life. So here is the still life in my sketchbook that I created. I made this with Neo Color 2. So they're water soluble wax crayons. And you can see in some areas where I activated the crayon and spread the color around. And I like the colors that I chose. I feel like I'm kind of really liking my art again. And this always happens when I do a challenge for myself. Because for a little while there, I wasn't really liking what I was doing, but I'm getting excited again about my art. So yes, I'll show you again. This was day 5. And so day 6, which was yesterday, because today is May 7th, right? Yes, today is May 7th. So day 6, yesterday, I picked letters. So, and thank you, Teresa, for leaving that comment of what I should pick. I went with your suggestion and picked letters, and I did this little lettering bit. And yeah, at first, the picture that I posted, I think I may have posted this in a story without the rose. And then I was looking at it, and I was like, this needs something. Like, this needs like a pop of color or something. Like, I know it says love hurts, but the words clearly conveying the message, but I felt like it needed a little graphic to go with it. And I'm really happy that I went back to it and added that rose, you know, that like that rose kind of going through the sword and the little whatever tears there. Yeah, so that's what I have so far. So I'm about to sit here and create day 7, and I don't really know what I'm going to do yet. Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. and today I will be working on a floral still life collage. It's going to be super layered and textured, and I'm using collage paper that has been purchased and also made by me, painted papers that I've painted on, and things like that. So, as I start laying things down, I figured I'd have a little talk a bit about, what it's like being a multi passionate artist, because here on my channel, you have seen me do mostly I mostly all the things that I like to do, drawing, mixed media, collage, acrylic paint. I mean, there's just so much that I love to do when it comes to being creative. And I feel like there's so much more to come as well. So, you know, being a multi passionate artist, I heard that term somewhere on the internet, which is basically a fancy way of saying I like a lot of different things and I bounce around between them. And that is me. That is Martine. That is classic Sagittarius, if you're into zodiacs and you know what that means. Anyway, so like I said, I'm using painted papers here and stuff, and collage papers that, were bought. And anyway, I used to stress out so much about not having a specific style. And I still kind of sway back and forth from feeling bad about it, but because everyone on social media seems to have this very defined look. I mean, most artists I see on social media have like this defined look. You scroll their feed and it's all so cohesive. Meanwhile, my feed looks like 5 different artists share the same account. But I've stopped fighting it, and I think some of us are meant to explore, and I really believe that. To not settle into one thing too quickly, and that's valid. I mean, that's part of the journey, and I'd rather follow my curiosity and let my style find me over time instead of boxing myself in just to be recognizable. You know what I mean? As artists, we're told we need to show up, post consistently, whether it be on video, writing long captions, short captions, do the trends, add the trendy music, be authentic, also be curated. And honestly, sometimes it just feels like a full-time job, maintaining a social media presence as an artist. And that literally pulls you away from your actual art. So some days I love sharing and I'll post a reel, write a caption from the heart, and feel super connected to my audience. And other days it feels like I'm just shouting into the void of Instagram algorithm and YouTube algorithm land. And yeah, I'm just like shouting into the void while the algorithm is off somewhere on vacation. I don't know. And yet here we are, still showing up. But constantly showing up like this, it's important, and I believe in it. And it's part of the reason why I do have, a handful of supporters who really fuck with me and look for me and look for my videos, look for my work. And I deeply, deeply appreciate that. And, in that lately, I've been thinking a lot more about building my online community. I do have Substack pages that I maintain, and right now they're for free. I did have my paid subscription on for Substack for my art page, my art newsletter. I was creating exclusive content over there, but I decided to turn it off because it was just too much. I was doing too much. But I'm seriously considering going back to turning on the paid memberships for Sketchbook Shenanigans. Because I want to have a cozy corner, of the internet where I can, share deeper process videos and art prompts and behind the scenes stuff that I just really don't share on the internet. And I feel like it is share worthy. So why not monetize it? But I'll be honest, it's hard. There are so many platforms now: Patreon, Ko-fi, Substack, Buy Me a Coffee, blah, 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 this one, that one. And it's overwhelming. And people's attention are being pulled in so many different directions, and carving out space for something new for people to look at, it just seems like a hard ask and really an uphill climb. But, still, I believe there's something special about creating slow and meaningful content for people who genuinely want to be part of your world as an artist, even if it starts small. That kind of connection is worth building. Okay, back to the collage. You can see here I'm creating a little window, and everything is finally starting to come together. I'm just, starting to glue the window pane together onto the paper. And, I had a plan, as you saw. I had a sketch, I had a plan. But even while I'm putting my plan into action, it's still open to change. Like, the sketch is not set in stone. So I always like to plan my sketches or my artwork. And I know that some artists may think that that's like not, natural, but every artist is different. I like to plan my sketches. I like to plan my paintings, my collages. It gives me direction, because the way my brain works is I need direction. I need a plan. And I can't work without knowing where I'm going. And every artist is different. Every artist works differently. I try not to overthink it. I work the way that I work, and other artists, they work the way that they work. It's all about what works for you, how it makes you feel, what process are you comfortable with. That's super important, is creating a process that you're comfortable with. So if you're comfortable with, like me, sketching first, jotting down ideas, thumbnails first before going into the work, and it may not even be for a final piece. It's just you want to sketch or jot down things even before you start sketchbooking. That's just your process. And then if you work with layers, your paints and your crayons and pencils and things like that you layer with, that's just your process. And I try very hard, but it doesn't always work. I try not to overthink that, because at the end of the day, it's just art, and we're creating from ourselves. We're expressing ourselves in the way that we are comfortable with. And we're inviting our audience, art lovers, art collectors, into our worlds. All right. So with this collage, it was really such a reflection. I like collage because even though, yeah, I'm cutting and I'm pasting and I am thinking about what I'm doing, it's like putting a puzzle together because I already had an idea of what I wanted to do. Like I said, it wasn't set in stone, but I knew what I wanted to do. So it's like putting a puzzle together, and my brain loves that. My heart loves that. Putting things together and looking at the final outcome, you know? So I think I'm done here with my little chat. The rest of the video is going to be some music, and you guys can watch the rest of this collage process. This was, again, one of the prompts that I had made for myself for the month of May, and collage was one of them. So if you're watching this and you're also someone who dabbles, who hasn't figured out their style, who feels a little scattered but deeply created, just know that I see you. You don't have to fit into one mold. You don't need to pick one lane to be valid. Your creativity is yours, and it's allowed to be wild, layered, inconsistent, and full of detours. That's the whole point of the process. Keep showing up, keep making, even if the algorithm doesn't clap for you that day, especially then, keep making. Because this journey, it's not about going viral or being trendy. It's about building a life where your creativity has space to breathe. Okay? So, thanks for hanging out with me today. Sending you all so much love. And if you're new here, please do subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one. Enjoy the rest of this video and the music, and we'll talk soon.